2256.
Early when I really didn't want to go.
When I decided to make my move, you said, girl, you better take it slow.
Spend your whole life as if advice that nobody asked you for.
Trying to make me sink in your world of stink, and you think I'll come back for more. But I tell you, you ain't got the right to tell nobody how to run their life. No.
You ran the world, now it's all torn with a hate.
Yeah, stop.
You ain't got the right to tell nobody how to run their life.
You ran the world, now it's all torn with a hate and strife.
Hey, that's right.
We have Catholic, lapsed Catholic,
Yeah.
and lapsed Presbyterian. I don't even think I count in this world.
Presbyterians.
Really?
Yeah. What do you love
It's
about
not even
this?
Episcopal. Like,
There's nothing that's like loving generic something.
Yeah, it's
You
great.
like generic religion.
No. You know what I love about it is because I like the pageantry of going somewhere on a Sunday and seeing a rock band.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? I like that you can get communion and like everyone. You just didn't go up. I was always weirded out getting the wine out of the same deal.
yeah, they
Right.
pass it around.
Everybody
paper
gets
cup.
a cup.
Yeah, it's
everyone
beautiful.
gets a cup, and then the wafer's not a wafer; it's actually a piece of bread. And I
Yo,
go,
you can pull it
I'm
off the
in,
thing?
I'm in. And
I
It's one
know.
of those
I always
big
want to
loaves
dip it
of
in
king.
olive oil because I'm used to the flat stuff, and that's like
just
more
liven it up
absorbent.
a bit. That's
No, your mom's
Greek Orthodox.
Your mom's a minister, right?
Yes. Yeah.
great.
So did you have the rock bands and stuff? In
Here's
your,
the thing,
or was
like,
she anti-rock?
We
band?
She was never anti-rock band. She was always in churches that were like the worst. So,
Okay.
so I remember there were times like, but like I quit the church because they were awful. Like just old people, like, you know, pastor's son. You know how people are
Yeah.
weird around the pastor. People
Yeah.
are like, oh, the pastor. It's like even in Presbyterian where that they don't believe that, they're like, it's like she's gonna rat me out to Jesus. So like everyone's super nice. Then I come around. I'm like a little kid, and they're like, "Oh, all this frustration I feel towards this person,
Yeah.
I could just take this shit out on you." So like everything was the worst, and like you're held up to such an arbitrarily high standard that when you're like a 12-year-old and you stub your toe and you're mad and you like don't even curse, you say like crap or something, like man, write it down because because they were running.
You had to live on a
everyone.
pedestal because you were the example of what you were supposed to act.
Did
That-
you
that's
have
a lot
to
of
dress
pressure.
up better than everybody else?
Yeah.
On
I
Sundays?
rarely did. That wasn't something they really judged on. But
Okay.
I like the problem is like that was also like I had the job and I was working at McDonald's like 1 a.m, like doing shutdown, and I would just fall asleep like every day in church. And like that's got to be tough. Like everyone else, and I'm the
like
son.
during your mom's sermon.
God.
you're
Yeah,
falling
no,
asleep.
Could you imagine being asleep at church, sitting there wearing a fluorescent orange V-neck sweater?
That's where it started for me. But yeah, and but no, like my mom then got another church that was a little bit cooler, and I helped out a bit. So I helped out with like the music and what have you. And I really tried to push. I was like, hey, we're in this town with this, had a really good university in it with a really good music program. I was like, hey, let's get their jazz band over here, and let's one like jazz comes from like old school gospel. Like jazz has like very deep Christian roots in it. Let's have a jazz church service.
Yeah.
And like she was like, do not mention that around any of the members. Like, don't tell, like, because we cannot do that. Like, she tried to have like,
Was it a race thing?
yeah,
Really?
like no, she had like she had a whole service once dedicated to the idea of just being funny. Like being silly.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
a joyful noise, right? Like,
Yeah.
let's have fun. Let's do skits and stuff. And she got shit for it because it's old people who are trying to
Yeah.
forget they're not going to die.
Right,
So,
Right, and having fun.
And if it's anything different than what they've had before, like yeah, so it was the worst is what it was. But I could only imagine. Well, I guess if my mom my mom couldn't be Catholic at all. That's like a thing.
Yeah.
No, you can switch. We have a married priest in my parents' church because he switched.
Yeah, the things you're.
Oh, if you convert.
If you convert, yeah.
But still, even if you're a woman, they won't. Right?
I think that's
Well, she'd have
changing
to
as
double
well.
convert. She'd have to convert to Catholicism
And then
and,
become
get
a
the
man.
surgery. Yeah.
I know that. I don't know. I've been to so many. You know what I enjoy I enjoy just listening to people speak.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter what the context is, because if someone's sharing in a Catholic mass, during the homily, or if someone's in a Protestant mass and they're doing the sermon, I'm going to find myself in that story.
Okay.
So then for me, I'm just like, oh well, I'm just sitting here and enjoying this quiet time of contemplation, and then also sharing faith, even though my faith isn't the same as everybody else's. But guess what? My experience that I'm having isn't the same as anyone else's either.
Yeah.
So.
Do you find yourself critiquing? I can't help it. I do it all the time, and I have a good minister. She's really good. I have a hard time finding holes in her performance.
I'm a fuddy duddy. Like I was at your church.
Well, our church is a little loosey goosey.
Yeah, I was at your church and I was like, there are people wearing jeans here. Like
what? That was what bothered you?
There was some idiot with those. Like,
I'm jealous. I want to get invited to your church.
There is. No, we're UUs. We're barely a church. Like we literally do not believe in anything. We just get together.
Their whole sermons all their sermons are like, what are we doing here?
It is kind of the theme every week. It's like, why are we here?
It's like the who farted of religions.
Just anyone can come in.
Sure.
They had good breakfast tacos.
Yeah. I think you know what, if you break down the tenets of what everybody's preaching about, I mean, the non-judgmental, everybody's allowed is probably the answer.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going for.
I guess.
Yeah.
Or the real test is find yourself in the most constrictive, judgmental religion you can find yourself in, and then be the good guy on the other side, just loving everybody for who they are, which is probably the point.
That was the whole that was the Jesus move, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
No, see, I prefer not believing in anything, and then starting a whole podcast whose the point is to judge everybody for the way they behave. That's my move. It's the inside out move.
Well, I think in all of our stories, look, there are no innocent victims in this world. Everybody has done something to transgress. So whether
we've all
you're
fucked up.
whether you're drunk in a bar,
or
you've somehow managed to get yourself in the hooscow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both equal possibility of having a huge stuffed cowhead fall on you.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe that's what they were trying to hang a cow head, and they needed a pulley to get it up there on the wall. They got a cow head made out of pillows. Hiding under the bed.
Some grizzled redneck with a big chaw, drinking a beer in the corner bar. You're using them sheets wrong, I'll tell you that much.
Okay, you guys ready for? We got some rapid fire prompts. Basically,
yes.
I'm just going to read these, and you're going to tell me what you would do in this situation. All right. So these aren't based in reality. All right. An older lady has obviously had plastic surgery and is not giving you a chance to talk about it. How do you bring it up?
Am I single?
Yes. Oh, immediately. Okay. Oh, there's conditions to this.
Yes. Well, you can be. That's all I'm giving you. You can be. If you need to be single, you can be single.
But she won't let me talk about it?
She's not leaving you you're waiting for that opening where you can get her to talk about it.
I guess now we have
and
to.
she's not giving it to you. You have to bring it up.
We have to define the plastic surgery.
It's facial. It's in the face.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and you're curious, right? You want to know why, how,
how this happened.
Yeah, but she's not giving you an opening, so you got to bring it up.
So no matter what I say, you're not going to change your expression? And then you just sit there.
Yeah.
And you just wait. And you just let her smile at her. Till she cracks.
Yeah.
Again.
She's going to have to at some point. That's amazing. I feel like I would then try. I go a long way around the bush. I'm like, I bring up the fact that I've had stuff done. All right, I'm like, this nose is not natural. Like it's too perfect, it's too great, and then eventually break down and say no, I've never had work done. I was just trying to make you like me. Oh, and then who knows? Who knows what's after that?
Who knows?
I assume she has money.
I might just use that tonight. Yeah. What about you?
I think that's the first thing. This woman has money. So
yeah.
Right? So,
you
start talking about vacations.
Podcast. Yeah.
I would start with vacations.
Sure.
What have you done recently? Where have you gone recently?
Yeah.
Brazil.
And just
I notice you're getting a lot of color.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk about the tan. Now you're on the face.
Now, exactly. Yeah. You spend a lot of time on the beach. Well, that's impressive because you don't have any sun damage. That's really great.
Yeah.
See if we can get in from that angle. Yeah. Yeah. And also, what's your phone number?
Yeah.
All right. Next one. You're walking through a parking lot and you notice a car rocking with teens having sex in the back seat. The right thing to do is to leave them alone, but what's the best thing to do?
Ooh. Oh my goodness. the best thing to do. Well, there's always the cop move, right?
Yeah.
Like you pretend you're a cop.
Yeah.
And that freaks everyone out all the time.
Actual cops do their own cop move. What are you doing? Stop pretending I'm a cop.
I'm just pretending.
Best job in the world.
People accept this.
They said I wasn't good at improv. Look at me. Yes, hand yourself out of these handcuffs.
Still doing bits. You have like a puppet who's your bad cop. You're like, I'm sorry about Mr. Puppet. He's had a hard time. I'll kill you, motherfucker. His wife left him. Fuck you. Stop telling him that. I'll go get some coffee. I'll leave you two alone. And then just leaves him there. Like,
all I
you don't
see,
crack.
I see is an improv cop.
Improv cop.
With yes and cuffs. And a no baton.
Yes.
That's all he has.
And I hate myself that I had that thought.
And a taser that just says freeze on it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I can't. You can't. First of all right, how do you know that they're teenagers?
Ooh.
Well, okay, I'm assuming based on
They're in a
Are they
car.
legal?
their willingness to have sex in the backseat of a car.
Makes them adults?
Well, no, it makes...
Because if they're adults, I can go watch. Because there's no expectation
That
of
is
privacy.
the worst thing to do. Yeah.
I think you have to assume they're teens, just to be safe.
And
Because you don't want to start watching
Yeah.
and then like start to realize, like, oh, her ankles aren't very mature.
Oh.
Or whatever it is that you...
Sure.
However you judge women. I cut them and count the rings.
Just right at the
at
the ankle.
Yeah.
I don't trust a teenager in a pantsuit. I'll tell you that much.
That is the name of your album. Don't trust a teenager in a pantsuit.
I think that you just have to. You know what I would? All right.
Okay.
This is what I would do. I would fire up the Instagram video.
Yeah.
And
of course.
I would make it known that they were in the background and you couldn't see them. You could only see the car moving.
Yeah.
Okay.
And maybe just their shocked faces at the end.
Right.
And that
Yeah.
would be it.
So self-photobomb. You're like
Exactly.
going to set
Yeah,
them
yeah,
up
yeah.
to photobomb.
Wait,
But
So
if
you
a
would-
boob comes out, then you have to delete it and you have to run away because
Yeah.
you've now just done something creepy.
Or just Snapchat.
That's fine too.
Well, I guess
at Real John Tole on Snapchat.
or you could do like you could leave a hook on the handle, right?
Yeah.
Like so when they get out, they're like, "What?
This is real?
That's a good one. I didn't think of that. Like a hotel maid, you hang the hook on there. Like
Yeah.
I came by for service, but you were busy.
But here's a hook.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Yeah. I think you have to start jimmying the car door, like you're going to steal the car.
Just like
you get to the car
Yeah.
door and just start jimmying it.
Nice.
Yeah, just to see.
They look up and all they see is your hand. They're like, no, we're already a step ahead of you, bro.
they're super over it.
I'm
Yeah.
afraid nowadays that if you left a hook on somebody's car, they'd be like, oh my God, I love Jake and the Neverland Pirates.
Oh.
So awesome. And as a father, I know that you're probably aware of.
I try not to be aware of any of that thing. I try not to
As
be
an
aware
uncle,
of
I
being a
learned
father.
I learned this winter.
Yeah.
That Jake and the Neverland Pirates is a real thing.
Yeah, I've learned we actually have a fatwa against any characters in our house.
Really?
So, and we send our
like
kid
actual-
to a school where you're not allowed to wear any characters. So we're trying to keep her completely oblivious as to any marketing or whatever.
Yeah.
Which
You're only forestalling the inevitable.
there's the good reasons behind that, I guess. The ones that like, oh, that sounds nice.
Sure. Yeah.
But then there's the real reason, which is I don't want to watch that crap. Like that's I
or
don't
spend
want it.
$20 for a shirt.
The only thing we have that's branded is Dora the Explorer toilet seat.
Oh.
You know, like the trainer one.
Yeah, yeah.
So like I let her have that because she can shit and piss on Dora all she wants. Like that is
Does
the
she
only
know
thing.
who that is?
Yeah, she does because she sits on Dora to go to the bathroom.
Is she
Oh,
taught
my.
to hate her?
No, she's just taught to sit on her and poo.
Okay.
Yeah, she's potty trained on Dora,
okay.
but that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's how you handle
Jeez.
that.
You get her into Adventure Time.
Are you a big Dora fan?
Don't have something.
No.
seem shocked. You seem
I'm
appalled.
No, I'm shocked because you're not teaching her about any characters, and the time is going to have to come where you're going to have to teach her about Twitter, and then now what?
About Twitter. It'll probably not exist by that point, right?
Yeah,
like, let's hope. 'Cause Daddy has a Twitter feed. You have to come up with a whole fake Twitter feed now of just positive affirmations. Like,
Oh my god, I didn't even think of that.
yeah.
No, she's. Nah.
Have you ever thought about
Twitter will
having?
be gone
Have
by
you
then.
ever thought about having just a running dad Twitter feed of what you would be saying to your daughter about characters she would be, like having
This
encounters
is
with?
incredibly meta.
Have
That
you?
is, yeah, what is this, Inception? Like, did not follow this at
Yes.
all. Okay. So a Twitter feed about what I would say to my daughter if she had Disney stuff.
It would be a known fact that your daughter has no access to any characters, but you have full access to all the characters.
Yeah. Okay.
So then you'll be running interference, but unnecessary interference.
You know, the other benefit is I can steal all these characters' material, and she thinks I'm a genius.
She thinks you're great.
All the catchphrases. Like,
she's going to wake up one day. She's like 23. She's like, oh, it's my birthday. This is great. This is the day my dad shows up in my bedroom dressed as a purple dinosaur.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for this to happen. Wait, you mean purple dinosaur like Barney? No, my dad.
No, my dad.
That's my dad. Doesn't your dad do that too?
I mean, you know what my dad says all the time? And her friend's like, that's a SpongeBob line.
And then she has to discover them all, and then you have to have that conversation.
I like the process of discovery, you know.
Okay.
Why be used to Elmo? Why not discover Elmo when you're like 18 and that's weird?
And you were high as shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. That got him excited.
Yeah. I'm thinking about that.
I want to rediscover Elmo tonight.
Nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing. When are you ever surprised in something in the world right now? Never.
Ooh.
Never.
Like when something good happens.
Like what?
Like
what? Nothing good ever happens to me. What happened?
Oh, to you? I mean, come on. Like things happen to you. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure you find yourself. You've felt surprised. You're not that over it on the world of life.
Come on, dude. Really surprised? Really surprised?
Well, I guess there's a difference between being like startled, like if something were to jump out at you.
Right.
Yeah, that's not surprise.
Amazed.
No.
When
like
was the
amazed.
last time you were amazed?
Yeah, like BuzzFeed headline amazed.
Yes.
Like you actually jaw dropped.
Yeah.
I
feel like on your deathbed, like there's going to show up 27 things you were super excited about. You're like, that's it?
I missed it?
I thought that's all I
You know, I'll be honest, and this is super corny. I went to Houston where they have the Saturn V rocket.
Oh, Seen it? Been there.
I lost my shit when I saw it.
Really?
It's like a fucking building that went into space. Like, and it's just on its side. And you walk the whole fucking length of it, and there's and you go up to it's just like a boring warehouse. Yeah. And you open, and it's just a bullshit door. Like it's not like a cathedral door or anything. It's just like a normal door you'd see like on the outside of like the back door to a McDonald's. You know,
right.
Like someone's gonna come out of here with like one of those weird plastic carts with nothing but broken down boxes, and you walk inside, and you're like, oh shit, this thing is huge. Yeah. People made this and went into space with it. Like, this thing was a huge
And then rednecks
rocket.
with a truck went and got it when it fell back to the Because when I walked in, I looked at it and I was like, oh, man, they remade this thing. Because I was like, why wouldn't this just be shot off into space and then it'd be floating somewhere?
Yeah.
I didn't really... And then the next panel down when I started reading...
Like, it fell back to Earth.
Fell back to Earth. They're like, oh, whoa. Then I started touching things.
That's all I started,
And the last thing I heard before I left was, sir, sir, get off the scaffolding. I was like, all right.
You were so prone to scaffolding that at that point
it's so chintzy though. You look at the way it was made. It's like,
it looks like corrugated metal.
Yes.
It looks like someone's tool shed that was circular. And
well, it was made in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
That's all they had.
You want to talk about being on drugs? We're going to take this moonshine still. We're shooting it into space.
Yeah.
All right. I'm on board.
And if it doesn't make it and it falls back to Earth, we're keeping it.
Yeah.
And we're going to put it on display with a plaque.
What kind of computer power are you using? Oh, like we're using this building right here. Oh, that's cool because my cousin says in 20 years that's going to be a watch.
Someone shows up and says, oh, I called Jim. He's got like one of those rules that slides. It's a slide rule. Like, come on. We need Jim. And that was Jim Lovell, who then... He was an astronaut.
Jeez, yeah, you really took that to a place of knowledge.
I know.
What does that merit badge look like?
Well, it actually looks like my grandpa was a rocket scientist.
Andrew's flexing.
Yeah, he is. He's kind of nebbishly flexing, but he's doing it nonetheless.
My grandpa was a rocket scientist.
Okay.
He did those things. Yeah.
He made stuff go to space.
That's impressive.
It is. He won the Medal of Freedom. Twice.
Wait, you get it again?
He got it.
What do you need another one?
Yeah, how free do you need to be?
He got one from Nixon for the Apollo 13
he had to
thing.
give it back.
Yeah, immediately. And then he got another one from some other guy who
probably Ford.
Yeah, Ford. Just
guessing. He's
Some other guy, probably also one of the presidents. I'm guessing. Yeah.
And
otherwise, it's not valid.
he was in the Challenger. Like he wasn't in it. He did did the investigation of the.
He did the investigation
afterwards. Yeah.
I was gonna say not to be insensitive.
He wasn't.
I feel like they weren't giving out medals of freedom to
the
people who made the Challenger.
No, he also made it. Like he made it and then investigated it afterwards.
Okay.
Insensitive is my uncle's book that he wrote called Sally Road.
Yeah.
How long did it take your uncle to come up with that? Immediately?
Hell yeah!
Like when he was watching the live feed.
He looked up and he's like, "Why?" That's such a visual old guy joke.
That is.
But you know why? Because we had that in high school. Like I was in high school when that happened. So I don't know where you guys were.
I was in elementary school, but I remember the day they stopped and they actually dragged a TV into our classroom
and everyone got to watch it.
Yes,
they didn't do that for us.
Really?
Yeah,
they shouldn't have. Why do we need to see people blowing up?
Well, they didn't know that. They were gonna be like a good thing.
No. The thing happened, and then they dragged the TV in so we could watch the news coverage. I think so the teachers could, but they let the kids. We were fourth grade and just watching.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Really?
They weren't protecting us from it. They were like, "There's a big news story. We're all going to watch it." And then it was just footage of the shuttle blowing up over and over again.
I'm sorry, I wasn't in school when that happened. I was in school when the Oklahoma City bombing happened. That's what I was thinking of. My bad.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't on TV.
No, I was. That happened to me 6 weeks ago, and I was in Oklahoma City. No, but they actually wheeled the TV in a high school class, and we all sat there and watched it, and they were like, "All right, it's going." It's going.
You started with optimism, and excitement,
when you're in high school and you hate your life, and you're sitting there and you're like, just give me anything. And then the nerds come with the AV cart. You're like, oh, this is gonna be
finally.
Look at this is gonna be good. What's going on, dude? We're watching this thing. They wheeled it in, they plugged it in, and now everyone's watching it.
Yeah.
Then it explodes. And the teacher just looked around and he just turned off the television.
Open your books to page.
And he even this is the best part, because he just went over. He just matter of factly went over and he just went, and then he turned the TV around
like bad TV. He's getting the corner TV.
Time out.
Just in case this thing turns itself back on during a mass shooting, I'm going to flip it around.
I was like, this is ridiculous.
Is that the last time you were ever excited about anything? Like, was that what killed it? The Challenger exploding in front of you?
Oh, come on.
You're like, nothing's going to top that.
I don't know. I just, what was I saw Kiss a couple times. That's pretty good.
Why?
What do you mean?
What?
Did you win like a contest or something?
The first rock record I ever got in 1976 was a Kiss record.
Those were the only records they were selling that year.
That was it.
It was just Kiss.
Just Kiss.
It was Kiss or ABBA.
Yeah.
It was all you were getting.
How old were you at?
5.
Oh, that's fair. That's
five,
fair.
yeah.
Anything's fair at 5.
Yeah.
So
it's all shapes and colors at that point.
And then I remember my folks bought it. My life changed. I had a poster on the wall.
Yeah.
And then I was down this rabbit hole of nothing is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the illuminating.
Because
you want to party all night.
Because I want to rock and roll. Now that song wasn't on that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, which song did it for you?
That Making Love, the album,
and then you realized everything's a lie.
Track 1, side 2, Making Love, was a jammer.
Yeah.
Really good. For some reason, that song stuck with me. It was an up-tempo number.
Yeah.
Got me through Destroyer. It wasn't until I got my Life's Philosophy in 84.
Right.
Oh, in 83 when Lick It Up came out.
That's when we realized, a fiat currency doesn't work.
I love that you and I are laughing at Kiss album names the way he laughed at Boy Scout badges.
Oh, yeah.
We know nothing about this. It sounds ridiculous.
None of us have any legitimacy as human beings. No. This is all...
No, why would you take... In fact, this is why you would never take our advice. Because we are absolutely illegitimate. We don't have an ounce of faith logistically between the three of us, okay? Yeah. Some of us have merit badges, and one of us has an awful taste in music.
I don't know. My first album, the first track that I listened to obsessively, and the first was off Bruce Springsteen, "Born in the USA."
Oh, I love it.
Okay, but the track that I obsessed over was "Glory Days."
Sure.
Yeah, big butt. That was. universally acknowledged, I believe, to be his worst song.
Yeah.
And I was.
I need more of this.
I had
to
a
hear
friend
it
who was a
over and over
great
again.
baseball player way back in high school. That's not a good song.
It's about old men drinking about wishing to be young, and I'm just like 8 years old and like, I need this in my life.
Who are you sitting across the table from?
Yeah.
That song's that's my glory days.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that nobody likes that. So it was Lick It Up album, and it was the song Lick It Up, and it was when Paul and it was me. I remember just sitting there, and I was in middle school, and ready to go into high school, and just trying to figure out what's going on with life and what I'm gonna do with it. And Paul said,
The Book of Paul.
The Book of Paul. He said, "You don't need to wait for an invitation. You got to live like you're on vacation." And I took that as a fucking philosophy.
As a directive.
Yes.
This sentiment was also available on every rock album in the 80s.
Exactly.
It was Aerosmith.
Jesus said, "You will seek until you find me."
And he was there.
Yeah, and just like so it was Alan Watts. He said about psychedelics. He said sometimes when you get the message, it's time to hang up the phone.
Yeah.
And then when it was with Paul Stanley saying, "You got to live like you're on vacation," I said, "Yeah.
Yes.
Why would anyone have to work? If I could only be good at baseball, I'm gonna get a philosophy degree."
Or criminal justice.
And then teach people through stand-up comedy through an advice show.
Yeah.
That's an incredible path. That message was out there, and Kiss was your vessel.
Kiss was my vessel, yeah.
You were the vessel for Kiss. I think that's what you have to live with.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Wow.
I think Kiss is a great band for a tattoo.
That's why I have a couple of them.
Yeah. You and Kat Ramzinski.
She does as well.
Man, the branding is fantastic. Nobody's going to argue with the branding.
But when the branding went too far, that's when I started to splinter off from the band, and I just really only like Paul Stanley now.
Okay.
As an individual. That's literally, he's an institution. I even took the logo, which is tattooed on my wrist, and I put his star over the top of it. To emphasize the fact that while I am in the Kiss Army and I'm a lifelong Kiss Army member,
this is your sergeant.
I am all Paul. I am all the time.
You are Special Forces.
He is
in the Kiss Army.
He is it. Yeah. And the best Kiss album there ever was is his solo record, the first one.
The first one.
I'm such a nerd about that. I nerd out at such nerdly levels.
I didn't even know there were multiple Paul Stanley solo albums. That's where I'm at with this knowledge. I've seen Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park several times.
Oh, how good
Phantom
is that?
of the what?
It's amazing. Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. It's basically a Scooby-Doo movie that comes to life, but instead of Scooby and the gang, it's Kiss. And they're in a haunted amusement park.
Let me tell you something, Andrew Tompkins. When you've got a Sunday afternoon to kill.
Is that on Netflix?
No.
It's got to be.
It was the only way I found it was as a dubbed VHS copy because it was never officially released.
Oh, you have to dig it up.
It was a made-for-TV movie.
You have to dig it up.
Absolutely.
You got to dig it up.
Dig it up. Yeah.
One of the highlights, for those of you who are fans, know that Ace Frehley was so hammered in the making of this that he wasn't even available to do his own stunt work, and so there's a scene where the stunt man Ace Frehley gets punched and he turns his back to the camera and it's a black guy, and they didn't do the makeup all the way down.
He also was so drunk that he was incoherent, and they had some other person overdub all of his lines.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So it's someone else's voice. It's pretty great.
That's like a perfect movie making story right there.
Right.
Oh, there's everything about that movie is perfect.
Which is why he's my third favorite Kiss member.
Who is your least favorite?
My least favorite Kiss member has to be Vinnie Vincent. Who was a non-makeup era? Well, he had got makeup for a little bit.
Okay.
But then because they sued the band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
he's a betrayer.
So wait, are you putting Gene at number 2 or just somewhere above the bottom?
Gene is 2 for me.
Okay.
Yeah, just because it's always Paul and Gene.
Yeah.
Just like it's always Paul and
Oates.
Well, that just tells us where your mind is. I was fighting to say who was I going to name as the second Beatle. And I was going to say Paul and John. And then I was like, but John's dead. And Ringo just did the thing.
You have to deal with
Paul
Ringo.
And Ringo. Yeah. And I just was caught in the moment.
Yeah.
And you jammed me. Sarah.
No, that's Starship. That's different.
Wait a minute. That's not
a
Hall & Oates?
Sarah is Jefferson Starship.
No.
Yep, same. We built the city.
We built the city.
Who sang Sarah Smile? I'm back. Hall & Oates. Hall & Oates.
You got it.
I can name that fuck up in 2 breaths.
All right. Okay, with last prompt, and then
what do you got for us?
Right, you've been at a party for 2 hours. Oh. It is obvious that for whatever reason,
is my phone dead?
Yes, it's a party. It's a party in the 90s, so you don't have a phone.
Oh shit! Well, then I was not at that party.
You've been at a party for 2 hours, and it's obvious that for whatever reason, nobody there likes you. You could leave,
sure,
or
I've been at the stealing shit level. Like at that point, it's like, well, I'm not. Everyone already hates me.
You robbed from a party?
Oh,
what did you take?
I mean,
you
always
said that
shit.
like you have a mastery level of stealing from parties.
I've stolen shit. I'm not proud of it.
Really?
Yeah. Nothing I could use either, like ashtrays and stuff. Like, why? Who steals an ashtray?
Last time we let the preacher's kid come to the
party,
right?
Yeah,
stealing all our ashtrays.
Preacher kid.
Although there is the thing like, oh no, I'll win him over.
Yeah.
At which point you've already lost. Like you can't like if everyone already hates you, you can't then go like, oh no, this guy's all right. Like it's only going to seem put on, and they're going to hate you more.
Yeah. If you just turn the dial up, if you just go, I'll just be more me.
Yeah.
I'll just put that out there even harder.
Yeah.
But the fact that you wrote it out for 2 hours,
right?
That's the real, because normally you can tell, like when you walk into a place, you're like, oh, that's that kind of place.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna like me.
I should probably get out.
Yeah.
I don't know why you came with a friend who left, or if there was a dinner party. And
I went over to Tele's Super Bowl party.
Okay, all right.
Which was stupid enough for me to go.
Yeah.
I got nothing to do for Super Bowl. I'm standing with Tele's and I'm like, Tele's, let's have a fucking party. We're all gonna hang out. And he goes, oh, that's a good idea. Next thing I know, I'm at an invite, and then I realize I have a bunch of work to do around the house, and I'm like, oh, I can't not go to the one party that I said I was gonna go to. And then I showed up like 10 minutes late, and just the dagger stares that I walked in, I just looked around, I was like, oh, I gotta go. But I could never literally sit there for 2 hours. Impossible.
So you turned right around. You did not stay for.
I tried to.
Were the people who were there people you knew?
Kinda. Like, but not like great. You know what I mean? Like, so
okay.
I said hi to Tellez. I said hi to County, and then I said hi to. And I talked to John Raybon outside.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I was like, and then he was like, oh, I got to go do something, and I was like, I got to go do something.
Doing something sounds fun. Yeah, I'm gonna do that too.
And then so I ended up at a different Super Bowl party.
Oh yeah,
not the one that I had planned.
I've been at parties where like, and my excuses are the worst to leave. Like I just started like I was at a party. I was at one of Ryan County and like the Nebraska houses,
nice.
Like little pool party they had like 2 years ago, and I show up and like I'm like it's early in the summer, right?
Sure.
It's like maybe 70, 80 degrees. I'm like, I'm not gonna swim. Like that's dumb. Why would I swim? That water's still fucking cold.
Right.
So I show up like fully dressed, and everyone looks at me like, what are you doing? Like we're all swimming. I was like, why are you guys swimming? It's cold. They're like, it's not cold at all. And I was like, I gotta go pay my rent. They're like, it's Sunday. I was like, I know that's how late I am. And then I left, and it was like Brian Garr, like all these people I know.
You didn't think to go home and get a swimsuit and come back?
No. At no point was I like, oh, I'll just go change. I'll be right back. I was like, no, I can never come. We can never speak of this again. Like, and the thing is, like, I know everyone that was there are people that I know for a fact don't hate me. And when I was there, I was like, none of these people hate me. I was like, but I need to leave immediately.
Right. They do not want you there with your clothes
something.
on.
Yeah, I was like, I broke the seal. Like I did something I shouldn't have done. And they weren't even they weren't shaming me.
No.
They weren't making fun of me. I brought a 6-pack of beer. I did the right thing. I was like, here's some beer, and I abandoned the beer. I was like, cut and run, get out.
Wow.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, you have to abandon the beer. That's true. You can't
Have you
take
ever
the beer
stolen
out with
anything
you.
from a party? I've never done that.
Have you guys ever stolen
no.
anything?
Yeah, of course, but not
from a party.
Whoa,
not from
whoa,
somebody's house.
Look at you. Look at this turnabout. What did you steal? A couple cars.
No, it's nothing. No,
Come on.
Nothing that's worth. No, nothing that's worth admitting.
Okay.
In a public forum?
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's not good.
Okay.
Yeah, you know why? This is the one thing that I've always said. I don't need anything. So if I went and stole something, then I'm just stealing it just for the sake of stealing it.
Right.
Then that's kind of jerky.
Yeah.
Because somebody still owns that for a reason.
Yeah.
So then you're bumming them out.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And I did that because of that.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna steal this shit because fuck it.
Because I want to bum them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I had a lot of growing to do.
Thus the ashtray.
Yeah.
It was sort of.
It was like, this guy's never gonna be able to smoke.
I'm saving his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I would just throw it away. Yeah, dumb kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your go-to to escape a party?
Well, it's totally different now. It used to be like when I was.
Well, now you have the ultimate.
My
out.
parties now are totally different because I go with kids. 2 parties where there are kids.
Yeah.
And that scene is you can't even imagine.
What happens when you show up to a party with your kids?
Right.
Where there are other kids, but it's one of those. It's decorated like nothing your kids have ever seen because they don't know what characters.
Oh, and you have to.
Oh, that happens.
So now, like, what is that? That must just be stimulus overload.
She does. Okay, so we went. No, here's my bad Super Bowl party. We went to a Super Bowl party. It was this mom's group that my wife is in, and so all the moms were there, and so therefore all the children were there.
We've edited out the game, so there's no game. There's just commercial and the halftime show.
30 children inside of a house. There's no jumping castle.
Real
there's no
story.
Clown.
Oh my god.
There's no clown. There's no birthday entertainment for the kids. There's the Super Bowl. There's the men looking very upset in the living room.
And they
there's
deserve
the
to be.
women talking at nightclub level in the kitchen.
Oh my god.
And then there are the children free to finally do whatever they want in a pack. And so my child, who is not socialized, you know what I mean? She's like that dog that we keep in a purse. She's quivering with all these children around her, loud noises, toys, characters she's never seen with eyes that are too big for their faces.
But she matches, so that looks good.
Yeah. So she just kind of goes into shutdown mode. She just stands in the middle of the room and just starts removing clothes.
What?
That's right. So this might be, actually, this reminds me.
Is this the end of Slapshot?
I have stolen something from a party, which is at the end of the story. I'm sitting in the Super Bowl. Now, I'm from Denver. I'm a big Broncos fan. I'm like, screw whatever else is there. I'm going to watch the game. And after about 10 minutes of that game, I was very upset.
Yes.
I was drunk and I was angry, and everybody else was a Seahawks fan. So I was there for 2 hours.
And you're 10 minutes in and you're already drunk and angry?
Yeah, well, after 10 minutes of that
pre-gaming
Super Bowl,
it
was like 38-0 or something.
Yeah.
What did Lord Forthbeer say on the way over to that Super Bowl party?
I told my wife, Lord Forthbeer and I were going to sit on the couch together. So I was not driving.
You're like, Lord Forthbeer is taking Prima Nocta right now.
My entire job was to hold the infant in my lap and not drop her. And like the 2-year-old could do whatever she wanted. So I just got a baby in my lap and a beer in the other one, visibly drunk and angry. It was not good. If Child Protective Services showed up, it was going to be over.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Just you've taken off your shirt.
I've got bad vibes radiating off of me. And I just look over to the other room where all the kids are playing with the toys and my kid's just taking clothes off. And I'm like, whatever. So she gets down to just her pants.
You're
and
you're like somebody will parent.
Whatever.
Isn't that right?
Does it matter? Does it matter if she's wearing clothes in this house? What are the other kids going to try to have sex with her? No, she's fine. She can be naked. So she's fine. And then we get to the end of the party where the Super Bowl is wrapping up and everybody's just kind of in a weird mood and in a weird place. And the moms are trying to get us out of their house. And so we go to pick up my kid. All the other kids are elsewhere, and she's just standing in the middle of the room with plastic toys everywhere that she has never seen, of all these overstimulated characters jumping out of her, just with 5 toys in her hand and just no shirt on, walking through it. And she looked like those Indians who pick through the garbage for a living, like just kind of staggering around all glassy-eyed with all this garbage in her hands, trying not to step on more garbage, and she was fully traumatized by too many toys. Like it was, I'd never seen anything like it. So we're like, quick, let's get her clothes on, let's get her ready. We take her to the bathroom, get her clothes on, and we put her clothes on, we get into the car, and that's when we realized she's not wearing her socks. There's someone else's socks. This is the only thing I've ever stolen from a party. Is some poor
I like the idea
some twerp socks.
I was hoping it was like some full-size adult socks.
They're just knee highs. And yeah, that's when we realized that my kid is no good at parties. Like she's just gonna have to take this slowly, like maybe a dinner party with 4 people.
Sure.
Yeah, she can't
And then
handle the
ramp it
chaos.
up from there.
Ramp it up, but she's not ready for a house party.
It takes a while to learn
technically,
that.
if you left a pair of socks and you found a different pair of socks, like that's a wash, right?
Yeah,
Socks for socks.
It's no pun intended.
yeah. Actually, I
Wash.
think that was probably an upgrade for whoever owned that house because the socks we got were stained.
These
with,
people were
Oh.
hazy.
child stains.
Yeah.
I mean, ours were too. They all are. I don't know what their feet do. They leak pectin or something.
Oh, gross.
Don't get me on disgusting kid stuff.
No. I mean, that's why I'm trying not to have one now.
Yeah.
I horrify Dino every second of the day. I go,
right.
When we have kids.
Nice.
Oh, it's constant. It's constant.
How long you been with this girl?
Almost a year.
Wow! Congratulations.
Yeah,
she's sticking with it.
She's sticking with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The ride isn't as weird as she thought it was going to be.
Did she then get bored? Was she like, I thought this was going to be weird?
Oh no! Trust me.
Okay.
Every once in a while, we find ourselves in the middle of something. And it all makes sense.
It's weird enough. Thanks for listening to this edition of Take It Under Advisement. You can always catch us on Twitter. I'm at Chris J. Magyar. We've also got John Tole. And if you want to find somebody who knows something about pocket squares, you can look up Andrew Tompkins on Twitter at Andrew Tompkins, Tompkins. Peace out.
$42.56.